Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Root and Rise with Erika. So, I want to talk about something real quick. Before we dive deeper into the Root and Rise platform itself, I just want to slow things down and share the why behind it. Because this isn't just a channel, not at all. This is literally my journey too. I'm living it, I'm healing, and I'm evolving every single day. So I don't want you to think that, I've arrived or that I have it all figured out because I don't. I am still walking this path right alongside you. So what I share here in this space comes from real experiences, real pain, and real breakthroughs because that's what it's all about, the breakthrough. Root and Rise isn't just a concept. It's literally my life's work in motion. All right. So the why behind Root and Rise. Um, Please bear with me. If my voice shakes for a little bit. It's just basically me healing in real time. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So for a long time, I allowed much of my life to revolve around a loop of projection, procrastination, anxiety, self doubt, lack of confidence, self sabotage, and even low self esteem. All of these rooted or were a result of unresolved trauma. All right. So I began my healing journey initially back in June of 2023. But what I didn't realize is that I was just combing over the surface. I'll explain. So basically, as we know, healing is not a quick fix. It's layered. It's the process of unlearning old patterns, revisiting the places you've buried deep, and being honest about what is still bleeding underneath. It is also, and this is very, very, very important, it is also learning to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace. You have to allow yourself time to heal. You have to also allow yourself time to understand that some days will be harder than others. It's just about how you push through that day. Most importantly, it is about being patient and kind to yourself through all of this, because some days are, like I mentioned, going to be a little bit more challenging than other days. Okay. So in July of this year, that became my real and true turning point. That is when I decided I'm going to stop running from the cracks. I'm going to face them head on. And that's honestly the bravest thing. That's the bravest decision that I could have ever made in my life, honestly. So that is basically when Root and Rise shifted from being just an idea to becoming my lived reality. So this next part, it's a little deep. I knew that I needed to begin inner child healing. I'll explain. So I've always known that my name is Erika, of course, but I didn't fully understand who I was. Not just my outer identity, what you're able to see here, but the deeper question was, how do I identify? What am I? Who am I really? Over the past few years, I moved through many stages of growth, but my inner child, she was still carrying all of the pain, patiently waiting for me to come back to set her free. And then I realized that the only person who could set her free was the version of me, the adult version of who I am. I was the only one. So what I started to do, instead of trying to face this head on, I began reaching in little by little. Now, I want to share something with you that's very, very important. Healing the inner child, it is not easy. This process shakes you. It exposes your weakest points. It's designed to do just that. But you know what? I made a decision. I made a decision and I decided in that moment that I was not going to abandon her. I sat with her. I cried with her. I told her, I will never let you down. I will always protect you and you will never have to run again. And I meant that. I made that promise to her. And you know what? I still sit with her because healing is not a one-time event. Healing is a lifelong commitment. That was the beginning of true freedom for me. So the turning point came for me in June of this year. This is when I joined the gym, Crunch Fitness to be exact. And that wasn't just about fitness. It became a place of self-discovery, unbeknownst to me. So my biggest evolution also happened while being a member of this gym. This was in August. And this is when I was approached and I was asked, who are you? Think about it. Who are you? I knew instantly that this was not a surface level question. It wasn't about my job. It wasn't about my age. It wasn't even about my name. It was much deeper. And something in my spirit recognized that, and something shifted that day. So my inner self whispered, sit with this. Understand the question that is being asked of you right now. Once you understand it, then and only then will you be able to realize who you are. And you can answer that question. So that's what I did. That question became a mirror. It forced me to stop. It forced me to reflect. It forced me to start peeling back the layers to really, really begin to identify who I am. So days later, with a chest full of confidence, I came back with my answer because I sat with it long enough and I was able to figure out exactly who I am. I had about 10, 15 different things that I listed of who I am, how I identify. But I'm going to take a few pieces of that and I'm going to share it with you. Okay. So this is my reflection. This is who I am beyond my name, beyond my title, and beyond my circumstance. All right. Here we go. I am the woman who chose to face what once broke her and built peace where pain used to live. I am proof that starting over does not mean starting from scratch. It means starting from wisdom. I am learning to be gentle with myself, even when the days or growth, I should say, feels heavy. I am the bridge between who I was and who I am becoming. I am steady, I am sure, and I'm definitely still unfolding. I am rooted in truth. I am rising in grace, and I am ready for what I prayed for. I discovered that I am that I am. Exodus 3:14. I am that I am. So with that shift came another round of transformation for me. That was the moment Root and Rise was born inside of me before I ever had a name for it. So the lessons that reshaped me, I began learning and exploring the deeper laws that shape not just the mind, but the soul. It includes alignment, mind fortification, intuition, imagination, belief, perception, frequency, and discipline. I'm going to break all of those down. Each one of those unlocks something within me, something deep inside of me. A memory, a mirror, a reminder of who I've always been beneath the noise. None of this happened overnight. I was and I am still being guided. I'm being stretched and refined through my mentor's teachings. So these lessons didn't just transform me, they started as knowledge. They became embodiment. It became the way I think, the way I speak, and the way I move. These weren't just lessons. I learned that, I learned these lessons, and they also became the language that my life now speaks, if that makes sense. So, the first thing that I needed to really understand and grasp was alignment. So basically, when you align, that means that you are basically putting yourself in order in preparation for something, right? So alignment basically taught me that my life had to match my values. If my actions didn't reflect who I said I wasn't truly aligned. So I can't say that, I want to heal myself, but I'm still entertaining situations that keeps me or prevents me from healing, that I am allowing myself to entertain, right? So once I made that shift, peace replaced anxiety because of the fact that my life and my values finally matched. That was a beautiful thing for me. Um, I learned to stop letting emotions control me. Fortifying my mind meant catching negative thoughts before they took root because the saying goes that if it triggers you, it controls you. So I had to learn how to do that. I also had to learn how to trust my intuition. That just basically, trusting that quiet voice. It's a muscle, just like a muscle on your body. It's the same exact thing. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes, of course. And then one of the others was imagination. I once thought that imagination was for children. And now I see that it's how we create a new vision before it ever exists in reality. Okay. So imagination, however, let me set the proper tone. Imagination is much bigger than your average daydream. There's a deeper meaning, 100%. It's divine design in motion. Okay. Once your root is steady, your vision becomes the instruction. That's how that goes. So the next thing was belief and perception. What I learned is that belief shapes the story that you live. Perception defines how you experience it. And together, they determine your reality. That's what I learned too. I also learned about the vision spectrum, the visible spectrum, I should say, what we are able to see with our natural eyes. This is only a fraction of the truth. Okay. Alignment and healing expand perception, allowing you to see beyond limits. I also learned about frequency, our energy in, energy out, right? So energy doesn't lie. I learned to become aware of what I was giving off and what I was attracting in return. We're going to talk about that in another video, attraction. So this was the major one for me, discipline. Discipline is the glue that holds everything together. So discipline basically turns inspiration into transformation. Okay. So with that being said, I know that I went through a lot. I just wanted to just go through and share what I have basically experienced when it comes to my own healing journey. So this is what I would like to ask. Okay. If you could take a slow and deep breath and listen inward. Listen to your intuition for me real quick. And ask yourself what truth is calling you the most right now. Just sit with it. Don't rush to don't rush to answer it. It's something that I'm just asking you to just take your time with. Allow your mind to process it. Okay? So out of the things that I mentioned, would you say that it's alignment, discipline, frequency, or maybe intuition. Don't chase the answer though. Okay. Um, just let it rise naturally because it's going to come to you. And that quiet awareness, that is where your next level of growth is waiting. So once you realize that, that's where you know. That's what's next for you. All right. Root and rise. I would love to hear what resonated with you the most. If you could, please feel free to drop your reflections in the comments or connect with me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok at Root and Rise with Erika. Okay. Remember, your reflection might be the reminder that someone else needs today. Okay. So I want to take the time to thank you for tuning in to Root and Rise with Erika. Remember, the deeper you root, the higher you rise. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, root deep, rise strong, and rise with me. Until next time, take care, Root and Rise.